Hey, Annette, the whole Lantos family, and I'm so very sorry I couldn't be there with you today in person because you know how close the Biden family was to Tom and to all of you. You know how much Tom meant to me and how much all of you mean to me. And it breaks my heart not being able to hold your hands and share our stories of Tom with each other once again, like we have on so many occasions. As all of you know, the family knows, Tom was my counselor and often my co conspirator. He was my teacher, he was my inspiration, he was my friend, and he loved my boys and my daughter, he loved my mom. And over the years, our two families have always been there for one another in good times and in bad. I'll never forget the late nights that Jill and I spent talking with you and Ed and Tom and the Balaton and in Hungary the first time you took me there. I'll never forget how we shared the stories with my sons Bo and Hunter and my daughter Ashley. I'd asked Tom to tell them about what it was like, Tom. And he'd sit there and mesmerize them for hours. I can still see him so clearly standing with us on that bridge in Budapest, telling us how Raoul Wallenberg would walk along the canal where Jews were lined up and how he brought them under the Swedish protection of his government, saving thousands of lives from destruction. And how Tom never gave up on trying to find Raoul Wallenberg and determine what happened to him. Tom also saved a lot of lives, and you as well, Annette. Raoul Wallenberg saved Tom's life, but Tom always understood that because his life was saved, it must be filled with purpose, as he would say. And my Lord, did he fill it with purpose. Despite the profound horrors he witnessed as a teenager, despite the evil he saw so clearly in our world when so many of us would have shut down, Tom didn't waste a single moment. He made it his lifelong work to defend others from the kind of brutality that he suffered as a young man and he saw as a young man. I often use a particular Tom Lantos quote in my speeches. Notwithstanding what he endured and what he witnessed, he came away from the experience with a profound wisdom and profound optimism. And he captured the core of our responsibility, of future generations' responsibility, so clearly when he would say, and I quote, "The veneer of civilization is paper thin. We are its guardians, and we can never rest." Tom never rested. He took me to Budapest to secretly meet with refuseniks, as well as teaching me how to speak out for all refuseniks in the former Soviet Union. And later, when he was chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, now he's chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, he was a powerful voice, and he helped give me the courage to speak out against the ethnic violence as he did that was taking place in the Balkans under the brutal hand of Slobodan Milosevic. When he heard that I had said to Milosevic when I met with him in his office that I would spend my whole life seeing to it that he was tried for war crimes, Tom got a big grin on his face and he just gave me a hug. You know, and Tom never slowed up. In his late 70s, Tom was outside the the Sudanese embassy protesting. He got arrested. He was protesting the atrocities that took place in Darfur. There was no quit in Tom. I remember the laudatory note he sent me when I flew into a refugee camp in that god-awful eastern desert of Chad, seeing hundreds of women who had been raped and brutalized, huddled in camps, fleeing the suffering and at the hands of the Janjaweed. And he said, and it meant so much to me, and that he said, Joel, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Remember how my brother Jimmy used to be able to actually imitate Tom's voice so well? You know, I told him, Tom, at that time, I told him, Tom, you taught me so much. And he really did. I don't know whether he was a father or a brother or a combination of both, but he taught me so much. He taught me and everyone else, no matter where evil sought to hide in this world, we had to stand sentinel, and Tom stood sentinel. Guarding human rights, standing up for the powerless, wherever in the world they were found. That's why Tom was such a staunch advocate for the state of Israel. As the only member of Congress to have survived the Holocaust, Tom understood the ultimate guarantor that nothing like this could happen again. The only guarantor of that not happening again was the existence of a strong, secure Israel. Never again. Tom gave his life to that vow, over and over again. And he challenged each of us to do the same. His memory challenges us all, still, never to be complacent in the face of evil. To stay silent when injustice is on the march makes you an accomplice. Never rationalize or excuse any act that violates the humanity of any man, woman, or child on this earth. So I want to thank the city of Netanya and everyone involved in creating this beautiful memorial for my dear friend Tom. I hope very much that I will have an opportunity to take my children to visit and pay our respects to Tom in that place where this memorial is. And I pray I'm able to do that soon. I pray that everyone who passes this memorial stops for just a brief moment to learn the story of Tom Lantos. What a powerful mind, but what an incredible amount of energy and empathy and compassion. And to then turn around after they learn about Tom and share it with their children. A child born in Hungary, raised during one of the darkest periods in human history. This same man brought hope and light to people all around the world. And my prayer is that they'll walk away from this monument insisting, as Tom always did, that each and every one of us is entitled to be treated with respect and basic human dignity. And we all remember what he said: the veneer of civilization is paper thin, and we are its guardians, and we must never rest. Annette, you never have either. You are an equal partner with Tom. You've done everything that he did. You were his strength. You were his backbone. You were everything to him, as were your beautiful, beautiful daughters. My mother was both enchanted by Tom and loved Tom. He was incredible the way he would beguile her. She had an expression which I think defined Tom as well as anyone could. She'd say, "Tom, you're defined by your courage and you're redeemed by your loyalty." Few men or women I've ever known had Tom's courage. It was unmatched. And his loyalty was so, so fierce that he'd risk his own interest. We were blessed to have had him. Tom was a gift. Tom Lantos was a gift to all of us, to Israel and to America, and to so many dispossessed people the world over. So I thank you very much, Annette and the Lantos family, for allowing me to say a few words. And I promise you, my children and grandchildren are going to come and see this memorial. He was an incredible man. No one I've ever worked with has meant more to me. I love you guys. And again, sorry I'm not there.